Are you struggling to make ends meet? Are you always short before month end? Are you struggling to pay your basic bills? Are you avoiding private calls? I think we are many there. Do you have to borrow every month from friends and family just to survive? Are you always overspent on your credit cards? Do you use your overdraft to the utter limit? I'm asking questions that we need to be able to answer. Are you juggling your bills? This month you are paying so and so. You are jumping this one, and next month you are paying so and so. Another gentleman was phoned by a creditor. Can I borrow your bag, ma'am? I'll give you. I won't open it, I promise. With ladies' bags, you never know what is in there. And this man was phoned by a creditor, and this man was tired. These people like Home Choice, who phone you day in and day out and so on. They want to sell you something. But this time they're phoning because they wanted their money and so on. This man got tired. And then this man phoned them and said, I want to tell you something today. I have as many honorable creditors just like you are. Yeah. Then every month, let me tell you how I didn't pay you for the last 3 months. Every month, I write down on a piece of paper and I put it in my hat. And then I begin, to lure. I don't know what it means. What does it mean? I begin to do what? To shuffle. I begin to shuffle. As I shuffle, I close my eyes and I pull up one creditor. That creditor, because I'm only able to pay only one per month. And we are many. And he says, then I pull one, then I'm able to pay that creditor. And then this person begin to say, because you have been phoning me and you were rude to me, I want to tell you that the next 6 months, we are not going to be on the draw. I am not putting you there. So are you one of those people who are struggling? Have you cut your budget to the bone and there is nowhere else to cut? You don't know where else to cut? Are the essentials seriously compromised, even at home? Listen to this one. Right now, you have no money reserved for any emergency. If something comes now, you're going to have to borrow because there is nothing. And you know what? Those who are financiers, they tell us that at least 30% of your, not 30% of your salary, at least 3 to 6 months of your salary, whole salary. If you earn 10,000 rand, you should have 30,000 in the bank for emergencies. If you earn 10,000 rand, it's 6 months, you need to have 60,000 that is lying out there for emergencies so that you don't have to borrow first. Are you constantly worried about money? Is your saving pot empty? Do you feel like your ship is what? Is sinking, and you feel like singing, Jesus, Savior, pilot me. As Seventh-day Adventists, sometimes we can be able to spiritualize these things, even if we don't have to spiritualize them. Or to feel like you're sinking, my dear friends, we all would be blessed if we just had an extra income to help supplement what we already have. I'm going to mention 6 to 8 sources of income. Maybe some of you don't know them. Now you'll begin to know them. Things that you already should know, should be practicing already, or I should be knowing, I should be practicing already, but I am not doing it. The first one I'm going to start with is the normal one, the earned income, money that you earn by doing something. For instance, the money that you make in your job, the salary that you get by working for someone else, or a piece job that you do there and there. That's an earned income. Most of us have one way or the other, some kind of income. Even those who are retired, they have an income, isn't it? They have the grant, that's an income. Even those who are small girls, they also have an income. They call it imaliani yekolo. I don't know why they call it that way. Imaliani yekolo. What is it in English? A grant, yeah, I know it's grant, but lemali yekolo. But they had to bend and break the this part of what in giving childbirth, so that they can be able to have that money and so on. So there is some kind of income that is coming in one way or the other. This one is called what? It's called an end income. Okay, that's the first income. Let me not dwell much on it. It's an end income. You work for it, or you get it, or you are given, or whatever. But it's something that looks like your basic, something that you get every month, something that you should have, something that you have from time to time. And most of us are in this bracket. We get some kind of an end income in one way or the other. But this is not the income that you should not be your last income that you earn. You can also be able to get what we call a business income. Remember, you don't have to be a big business to earn money, isn't it? Actually, the smaller business, those who sell fat cakes, those who sell pap and nyama, those who sell pap and in the streets, sometimes they make more money because they don't pay tax, those people, isn't it? Yeah, they don't pay tax, they don't even have they sell during the day, they have no lights problem, they only probably are cooking from Imbaula. What do you call it, Imbaula? Imbaula? Cooking from there. Some are cooking from a primer stove, some are cooking from, their overheads are very small. But there are some business, we have to pay for lights, have to pay for employees, have to pay for that and so on. Profit money that you earn by selling something for more than it costs you to make. For instance, businesses selling their goods at a profit, whether at the retail or wholesale level, as distributors or also as manufacturers. I want to submit here to you, church, that you can begin tonight and think of a business that you can be able to do and run it from home, and you don't have to pay these overheads on it. Can you imagine? Let me give you an example. If you're able to have a business that gives you 500 rand a day, just that. How much? No, let's not move. Let's just go to 100 rands a day. Okay? At the end of the month, how much is that? 3,000 rand. Between 2,500 and 3,000 rand every month. What can you do for 3,000 rand a month? You can do a lot, isn't it? You can close gaps. You can, if you kept that money and never took it anywhere, you just put it in the bank or saved it. 3,000 times 12. How much is that? 3 times 12? 36,000. Can you imagine having a Christmas with 36,000 in your pocket? You will run ballistic, isn't it? You'll buy everything you can find and so on. All I'm saying is that whether you get 10 rand for a loaf of bread, you will never go hungry, isn't it? I remember we all grew up here from our mothers and fathers who had not gone much at school, but were entrepreneurs, isn't it? They would sell something small there, something. We came home, there was always something to eat. They could buy milk, they could be able to buy bread, they could be able to buy meal, would be able to eat. Even if you made 20 rand a day, you would be able to do something. So there's a lot that we are missing here. Those extra hours I told you about, when you come back from work to the time you sleep at 11, don't just watch television. Even if you do, watch television while you are kneading your dough. While you are doing what? While you are kneading your dough. And then bake those fat cakes, those muffins, or whatever that we are able to do. Do that, and tomorrow morning carry something at work. Or get somebody. You'll find there's a lady who was selling bread, who had so much money because people would say, here, I need 10 bread a day, until she opened up her own bakery and was able to earn. So I'm talking about small micro business here, not even a small business, micro business. You can run your own business. Look at the hobby that you have. Look at the skill that God has given you and be able to use that. If I were to do it all over again in life, I would not go and do a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD. I would not do that. First, I would go and learn a skill. If I like mechanic, I'll be a mechanic first. If I like plumbing, I would be a plumber first. You know why? Because every person, learned or unlearned, needs a what? A plumber, isn't it? Needs a what? A mechanic, isn't it? needs a what? A builder, isn't it? If we can have that skill, then I've seen people who went for the skill and they pushed themselves through college or through university because they have a skill. I want us to change our mindset, parents. Don't force your child to have a BA or to have a master's. Don't force your child. If your child has a skill, let him go to the technicon and be able to get that skill. They will live for the rest of their lives. Except for the traffic cop, who just gets money by stopping you and what you call and so on. I've been stopped many a times as well, and I was told. And then I say quickly, I'm a pastor, and I think that they will leave me. He says, no, pastor, that's good, but even a pastor gets a donation at his workplace. And then I need a donation too. It says, I need a donation from a pastor. The least the pastor can do is to give me an offering for me to go and buy a drink. Hey, these traffic cops, they are something. They always want something, even if you try to think that they will run away because you are a pastor. They say, but are you from church today? I say, yes. They say, but then where's the collection? You must have something for them. Let's share the collection. And so there's something else. Then you can grow from a micro to a small business, then to a medium business, and one day you'll become what? A big business, isn't it? You grow. So don't go and try a business that you have no experience in, that you don't know, because it will give you challenges in life. So this is the second part of income. Whether we are small, whether we are what, we are able to get a second extra income. How many of you are saying, yeah, man, I have a skill, I must use it, I must start doing something about it? How many of you have got skills here? You know, baking, it could be baking, it could be even sewing. Could be doing what? Sewing. There's a lot of money now in sewing. People want to have dresses that are expensive, isn't it? You could be able to do that. So think about it and challenge yourself to be able to start small, and one day you'll be a big one. Let's go to a third one. I like this one. I think all of us should be in this third one. All of us should be able to be in this third one. The third one is money from what? From interest. Money you get as a result of lending your money to someone else. E.g., it can be a bank that you put your money in the bank and then lending it to government in the form of buying treasury bills or bonds and so on. And I like this one. There are people who wake up in the morning and go and play golf. And at the end of the month, there is a tit in their phone. It's not that to come and pay, no. It's that money has just come into your account. You know what? Because those people have taken their money. They did not hide it like that one who hid that one talent. They put it in the bank. They are getting interest every month on that bank. My dear friends, at some point in South Africa, for your money, you were able to get as much as 10%. Now it's much less. Just imagine if you had a 1 million rand, you were getting 10,000 rand a month. 10,000 rand a month. That's a salary for somebody.
Did you say million? It's 100,000.
Yeah. Remember, you get 100,000. You know, but if you divide it monthly, what did I say? 10,000. Yes, I'm right. Yeah, about 10,000. So you get 100,000. But remember, there's interest upon interest, and if you don't take that money and you leave it at the end of the year, you've earned interest and interest and interest. So it's about 120,000 at the end of the year. So 10,000 a month. Can you imagine that? Making that kind of money. So let's use this opportunity and be able to put money aside. And there are many instruments of investments that we can think about. I am not going to talk about today. I mentioned to you about the power of the what? Of the compound interest. I mentioned to you this one. Earning interest upon what? Upon interest. Interest upon interest. Interest upon interest. You know, until you don't know what to do with the kind of money that will be that you have. One person has said, compound interest is the what? Is the what? Somebody said, compound interest is the seventh or eighth wonder of the world. Because we are there and the money is just coming on its own. Are we still together? Let's go to number D. The other income that we are missing, that we don't do, that we don't have, is what we call a dividend what? A dividend income. Where do you get your dividend from? You can get a dividend from a business that you are saying, I don't have time to be in this business, but I can put my money in this business. And then you can even say, I want so much money. I want to make sure that every end of the year, when we sit down and we see what we have done, I'm able to get a dividend. Sometimes you may not be there, but you can put money and be able to get money. But the best dividend that I've seen is when you buy equities and shares. There are two types of equities and shares. There are companies where you buy, we call them blue chip shares, and there are those that we call penny shares. Don't buy in the smaller ones. Put your money in Standard Bank. In those are blue chip shares. Standard Bank, Nedbank, these big corporates like big insurance companies, Old Mutual and so on. And then put your money in Pick and Pay, those retails. Pick and Pay, ShopRite. In ShopRite, when you put your money in South Africa here and they expand into the rest of Africa, you are able to make money out of that one as well. If a person buys bread in Uganda, that money will translate into some dividend that you'll be able to get at the end of the year. And some companies pay dividends twice. They pay half-yearly dividends and they pay yearly what you call dividends. Let me tell you a story quickly of a person. It's somewhere in my career, I spent 10 years in banking. Somewhere in my life, I spent 10 years in banking, and I was working at that time for Nedbank. After I'd worked for Standard Bank, after I'd worked for People's Bank, then I worked for Nedbank at the head office here, right here. So, and then I was, you remember the AE2 share scheme and so on? I was part of the team that formulated that one and took it around the country. And I went to every township you can think of, telling the black people that let's buy shares. There's money in shares, and so on. And I did that job. And then I went to a place called King Williamstown. It was the evening. Went to a public hall. We had advertised as a bank. Our clients came and other people came. And there was a lady who came in a Jaguar, driving in a Jaguar. She was an oldish lady. She came clean Jaguar. She was neat. She had a nice two-piece. She was smart. She was struggling to walk because she was old, struggling to walk, but she came in and she just sat down there. I was wondering, what's wrong with this woman? What is she going to do here? And she listened and listened and listened. After I'd finished presenting on the shares, the AE2 shares and what they can do, and then she said to me at the end, when everybody has almost left, she came to me and said, Mfana, come here. Says, you know the shares. You speak the flowery language on shares. You know the different kind of shares. Then she said to me, but are you investing in shares? She asked me directly. Sometimes you speak about this thing, but you don't do them. So I said, no, I am not big on shares, except for the shares that the bank has given me. But they give you ordinary shares or preferential shares, depending on the level of management where you are in the bank. I had some shares in the bank, but I had not heavily invested in them. And I told her the truth. She said to me, young man, when you leave this place, go and do what we are teaching us about here. You will never regret. Then she began to tell me her story, that while she was younger, she was working as a nurse, and she was very fortunate to find a person who helped her understand the shares. She said, and the person helped me to understand the shares, and she told me how to buy the shares. She told me that, go and look at Nedbank. When do they give their shares? Maybe in July. Then buy Nedbank shares. Look at ABSA. When do they give their dividends? They give their dividends in February. Go and buy Nedbank. She says, I bought shares from companies that give dividends from January to December. Says for the last 30 years, I kept on paying my shares, buying this side and buying this side. She says, now I'm retired. I have so much money, I don't know what to do. That's why I'm driving a Jaguar. Because every month, apart from my money that I worked for as a nurse, that I'm retired, every month I get a note, and then I check, I've received dividends of 100,000. for what you call. Next month, this time, and I've received dividends of 200,000. She says, I am enjoying that now, that before I could not, but now I'm enjoying. Unfortunately, says, I'm old and I don't have any children now. I'm in trouble because who's going to be able to take care of this man? But she says, I came here because it's for the first time I hear somebody black to come in to talk about shares to the people in the township. That's why I came, to listen to you as a bank, talking to our people about something I know, something that has helped me. So dividend income is very important. And then the other income that is very important is rental what? Rental income. Money that you get as a result of renting out an asset that you have, e.g. here, this will be a house or a building or a room or whatever that you can be able to rent. Don't underestimate. In Lesotho, they call their rooms trains, where they build the rooms that they almost like a train. They build one room after another. They are connected like a train. You'll find that there are 20 rooms, in one place. But the person at the end of the month, the person is collecting 25,000 rand just by building those one rooms near towns where people want and so on. There's a lot of money you can be able to do with that. Another income that you can, this is a property investment, is no-brainer how you make money on it, but I won't go on it. You will find it in your slide. It's a bit long. It will take us time. This is an example of how you make money in property. Here's another way of making money as well. This one is called capital gains. Capital gains. Money that you get as a result of increase in value of an asset that you own. For instance, when you buy shares at 10 rand and sell them at 11 rand, you have made what? 1 rand as a capital gain. Or you buy your house at 200,000 and sell it at 220,000, you have made what? 20,000 rand as your what? As your capital gain. Now this, you may think it's a small amount of money, but it is a very big amount of money. There is a person here who has made money, and his name, I'll tell you the name now. I've just said Warren Buffett. I'll come back to him and then share with you how Warren Buffett has made so much money, what you call in his life, through what we call capital gain, and so on. Then another one is the income from royalties. Income from what? From royalties. When you have something, intellectual property, and then you register it, and then people come to you, they buy franchises, and then without you being in that particular, can you imagine the person who started, KFC, for instance, or any of this, what you call and so on. Can you imagine whether he's there or not, he's getting what? He's getting royalties every month. When we are able to take your intellectual property and we are able to put it together, and then we are able to get these revenues from time to time. Let me tell you something. Most millionaires do not necessarily need to invest in all of the income streams. Just one fraction of it is very important. And the example here is Warren Buffett, who is a billionaire. He only uses one out of all those 6 that I've given you at this time. He became a millionaire just by using capital gains. And he didn't invest in property. He only invests in shares. Only in what? Only in shares. But he's a multi-billionaire. You don't have to have all 7 of them. You can use 1 or 2, a combination of the 2, and you can be able to be a multi-millionaire and be able to be a billionaire. For instance, if you have an end income, the number 1 we spoke about, and that's the money you need, you don't need the other money you are making on the side. Take that money and invest it until to a point where you are able to get a lot of interest from it. If you don't touch it for 20 years, you don't touch it for 10 years, that one will make you a millionaire, because it will be interest upon interest, interest upon interest. Our problem is that when we have money, we put on gloves, we want to box it, isn't it? Want to box it until it's out. Until the money is finished, we don't finish what? Boxing it. If the money says, please save me, we say, oh, left jab, what you must go. If the money says, please keep me, we say, right what? Right jab until the money is what? Until the money is finished. Don't box your money. You will be able to need it when times are tough. Now, I am not going to go to, there's something I wanted to share with you, some principles quickly. Number one, have a core business or income stable. Income keeps you stable. Any income keeps you stable. Anything extra that you get, you must be able to save it. One must have a main source of income that sustains a daily lifestyle. If you have any extra money, keep it, don't box it. Focus on one or two, otherwise you will be thinly spread in terms of what you need to invest as a person. Now I'm giving you principles quickly. The biggest challenge in creating multiple income streams is trying to do everything at once. Don't try all 6 of them or 7 of them. Learn to say no and focus at some point, then you'll be able to be fine. Hone your skills, sharpen your understanding on the income stream that we have chosen. Become the best you can be. The more you practice, the more you'll be blessed in the area of your chosen field. Once you have chosen what you want to make money on, have capital and knowledge, meaning have capital and working knowledge on the income stream you are working on. Keep on improving yourself in your skills and become better. Spread your portfolio, low risk, low return. You remember, stable markets for a long time. Stay in the markets for a long time. Higher risk, it's higher what? It's higher reward as well. Go for stable investments. These are principles that you have. And then at the end here, I have extra sources of possible income other than those that I've just mentioned. There are many more that you can be able to do as well. And I want to give you an example of the one that I have begun doing after all these years. I have started using the talent I thought I never had. And this is writing. Since I started writing, I have published 6 books already. This one, I've taken my sermons, especially on John 3, verse 16. I've developed a series on John 3, verse 16, and I've written a book on 130 pages just on John 3, verse 16. And there are more coming. There is one that is coming very soon. It's entitled A Banquet of Grace, where I've taken all my sermons on grace and I've put them together. There's one that will come again, maybe next year, the one on Calvary, where I've taken all the Calvary sermons, I have put them together. I mean, this is no brainer for me because that's my job, isn't it? That's what I'm comfortable, that's what I'm able to do. But I'm also writing every morning without fail. And I post on Facebook, and I put my quotations down. This is about 150 pages, of quotations. This one is on the A's of life. For instance, this book will help you on how to have ability, on how to have abundance, how to have action, how to be adventurous, on how to thrive through adversity, on how to have ambition, on how to be anchored on Christ, on how to have assurance, on how to have the right attitude. In this one book, there are 201 quotations that you will have on these things that I've mentioned. Then the second one are the B's of life. And the B's of life, you will have things like, how do you deal with your baggage in life? All of us carry baggage. How do you battle it out in life? How do you have beauty of character? How do you have the beginning? How to have a new beginning? How to believe in yourself? How to be the best you can be? How to be bold? How to bounce back? And how to have a breakthrough. Then on the C's of life, how to become and dependable, how to have capabilities, how to have face challenges, how to be a champion, how to be a change agent, these are written from the Christian point of view, of course, how to be consistent, how to be courageous, and how to have the character like Jesus Christ. And then there are the D's of life. In the D's of life, you have things like how to dance in life. Sometimes in life you must what? You must dance. And even if you are like me with the public opinion that I have, and when you dance, your stomach goes this way and this way, but it's fine. Dance in life. And how to deal with your debt, how to reach for your destination, how to be determined, how to make a difference in life, how to be a great discoverer, how to have the dreams, how to pursue your dreams, to have the drive, and how to unearth the diamond in you. Because in all of us here, there are diamonds. All of us here, there are diamonds. Some of us die with our diamonds inside, having not. And this book will help you to do that. And this one are the great ease of life. The great ease of life, how to be an eagle, how to fly like an eagle, how to put an effort, how to have energy, how to have how to educate yourself, self-education, whether formal or informal, how to be excellent and how to be extraordinary in your life. I'm writing 5 more, the F's of life, the G's of life, so by 2-3 years from now, there'll be 26 books that I would have written just on ABC up to Z, up to in Z we will deal with how to be zealous, how to have zest, how to have life, how to have this and so on. So this is something that I do after work. And then instead of watching television the whole night, I do watch television, by the way. I love it. I watch soccer. I watch Kumbule Kaya a lot. And once in a while, I still and watch Muvango. I love Chief Azwindene. I do from time to time. My favorite actor. But I don't spend the whole time watching television because at the end of it, you have nothing to show for it. May God bless you.